Honkai Star Rail apparently has some beautiful trailers. Now, I haven't seen most of them by this point, so when Star Rail asked me to watch some of them for the first time on stream, I said yes, absolutely. But how good are they really? As the animation professor, I figured I'd give my 2 cents and see if they can actually pass my tests. But before we jump into it, apparently most of you guys are not subscribed. So if you're really enjoying the content and coming back over and over again, consider subscribing. It really helps the channel and you get to see more content. Anyway, let's jump into it. First up is Sparkle's trailer.
Holy sh! Whoa, God! Wait, what? I just got shot?
What a way to start an animation. You just shoot the audience and it brings them into this dreamlike state, which feels like the afterlife. Impact frame, very cool. The skipping animation is so good, it feels like it's probably got a mocap base to it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was hand animated. She just... Oh my God, is she killing different versions of herself?
There's only one bullet left. Wanna play a game? What's your wager? The life of a faker.
That's so cool, dude. Oh my God. That's insane. Every time she makes a face here, like, this is just so visceral. Also, like, that's dangerous. That could have penetrated the very soft skin of your temple if you were not careful enough. You gotta be careful with these things, girl. Great arcs here, generally speaking. Like, this has such a great transfer between the 2 shots. You have very flat knee. I wish it wasn't red on red. That's a small thing. I wish this was a bit more readable, but it's fine. Like, I get the idea and it feels really good. And I also love, like, the gun is just dangling from her finger. Just such great attention to detail. She's just so comfortable with just fighting these guys. And then on top of that, as she goes past this point, great anticipation here. Notice how she's leaning into this spin. Look how she's leaning. Like, she didn't have to do this. She's leaning in. Now, suddenly she's like a fish swimming. With that in mind, you know it's going to spin this way. You also know that this thing is going to come towards camera here. And what happens next? He comes towards camera right there. And as soon as it does that, it carries that momentum into a perpendicular shot, which is really interesting because this is actually reading really well, despite the fact that it goes completely perpendicular to the momentum before. How is that possible? It's because you have this momentum here at the bottom, which reads as where you were before. It's really cool.
Let me tell you what foolishness is.
Oh my God, dude.
Pretending to be smart like
This is crazy.
Then, what is a fool?
Dude, this is a crazy shot. Her expression here is so good. It's just that perfect amount of crazy because her eyes are, see how they're going upwards like that on the lower eyelid, and then the irises are scaled down so they look even crazier. So this is like the insanity look that fits a really weird uncanny valley area where she's not opening her eyes very wide. That's what works so well about it.
Knowing when to act clueless. Like I do.
Jesus.
Do you get it now?
Dude, this is...
Is elation. Me. I am elation.
Oh my God. Cat's Cradle? Oh, dude, I kind of wish that they did this a little differently. This is really good and such a great climax. But like, notice how like she's here and then she's here. This is actually a little confusing. It's kind of breaking the 180-degree rule because what you see is a face here. Technically speaking, in the grand scheme of things, you have a person here and you have a person like here. So the person here is holding the gun. This is what we currently have as a setup. If you go to the next shot, I immediately would assume that this was the staging. You see how that's easily confusing? It's because there is a 180-degree rule that's sort of being kind of broken. They decided to go all the way over here and like film the camera over here, but I can't read that decision very well. This is not the angle that I would have assumed that it was being filmed at. I would have assumed it's being filmed from this side. And that one little second of misreading it makes the climax not pay off as well. I think it actually would have been cooler if they flipped it. If the character here was the one being shot and the character here was the one holding the gun, it would feel so much better because you would actually be able to read the transition point of like the shot before and this one. It'd be like boom, 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 bam. Like I would be able to read that. And then go up instead. Just have this shot be like this instead. I think it would have read better. She is chaotic, yeah. But again, I would have preferred the clarity for the payoff instead of more chaos because we already have chaos. This is already chaotic and this doesn't rely on her being upside down in that shot. It doesn't make any sense to sacrifice the clarity when you already have chaos. Jeez, the morphing. Dude, the imagery of her constantly shooting herself in the head is terrifying. Oh my God. There's more? Is everyone dead? Everyone around her is killing each other? What?
Were you scared just now?
Yes! Yes, I was! Why would you even ask that? That's insane. What? You know, I think what's crazy about this, and this is speaking from the perspective of an American, her shooting herself in the head is a terrifying prospect, but that's because guns are real to me. So, what grade does Sparkle's trailer get? Animation, I liked it a lot. Amazing silhouettes, dynamic poses, great facial expressions, satisfying arcs, good job overall. I give it an A+. Directing, I thought it was really good. I think it elicited a very specific emotion, but I do have to take off points for that one upside down shot. It's such an important moment that I wish it was just a bit more clear. But overall, it gives the chaotic vibe that they're looking for. And I have to commend them on that. I give them an A-. Visuals. This includes the rendering and the compositing. I think it was beautiful. I mean, the psychedelics were incredible and very difficult to pull off. But at the end of the day, it's still being rendered in engine. So there's a couple limitations here and there that do take off some points compared to other cinematics. So I give it an A-. Where does that leave the overall score? I think a solid A. It's not perfect, but it is still amazing. All right, next is Firefly's trailer. But before we get into that, you've been hearing me talk about animation for a while now. But have you ever wanted to try these animation techniques for yourself, but couldn't find a 3D model that supported the anime style? Well, it turns out we're running a Black Friday sale for our Blender anime rig, Emily. Emily's a cyberpunk girl we modeled specifically for anime. And not only did we rig her up with professional animation controls, but we also built shaders specifically to support the perfect anime look. She's available on Blender Market and Gumroad, but the sale ends on Tuesday morning. So make sure to make the most of this deal if you can. And if you make anything with her, feel free to tag me on social media. I'm excited to see what you guys make. Anyway, back to Firefly's trailer.
Command! Firefly's requesting reinforcements. Requesting reinforcements to Rift Valley. Forward! Requesting reinforcements. I repeat, requesting reinforcements.
God damn. Woo! This is terrifying. Oh, this is terrifying. Oh my god. What kind of a war is it? What? Oh my god. Pretty sure all the mech scenes are 3D. Actually, good question. Let me see. Is this 3D? I would be mind blown. That does feel 3D. Are you serious? Wait, I think you're right. Yeah. So these are definitely 3D, but they're also definitely hand painted afterwards. So what that means is like they're painting in all the shadows and all the colors and probably even the line art to a degree as well. They're using the 3D mechas as a base for the animation. So they're actually animating in 3D as far as I can tell, but they're shading it in 2D. That's really impressive. I mean, it makes sense because the amount of detail required for these mechas is insane. So actually drawing like, you know, every single one of these lines, every single frame would be insane. Obviously, all the effects are 2D and it's gorgeous. Again, this setting up expectations of 2D art. So one of the first things to do, obviously she's 2D, so that helped. But look at this. Knowing that the mechas are 3D right now, take a look at what they do here, which is really cool. This revolving shot is meant to mimic 2D. There's no parallax on this character at all based on the camera. There's a foreground element that's moving forward at a very high rate, but like this thing technically doesn't have much parallax. It looks like it's being slightly warped, but it's giving that 2D look because it probably is a 2D background. But the characters has no parallax at all, which is such a great attention to detail on how like a 2D production would do it. This does look 3D. That's definitely got a 3D base to it. It's just so geometrically accurate, but it doesn't feel 3D because the shading is so good. And they did such a great job with the animation itself. God, that's so good. The bugs are also 3D. That's crazy.
On your feet. The target straight ahead. Keep pushing forward.
Affirmative.
This is so cool. What the hell is going on, dude? Holy shit. Wait, is this gonna be like the Valkyrie scene in Thor? Oh no.
Whoever's still alive, cover me. I'm going for the swarm mother. Copy. Take it. Witness. Activate it when you see the signal.
Oh, Jesus. What? Dude, this is so good. I'm also so invested in the story. That was 3D, by the way. This is incredible, dude. This is like the mark of like a highly skilled 2D Sakuga animator, but like on a 3D model it's just absolutely gorgeous, dude. You can see like his goal is here. He's got all this stuff here. The treadmill is moving past him, an extremely dynamic shot, and you have the focus of your eyes here. But not only is it just here, it's dancing around this area as he's going through a bunch of obstacles. So you have a really dynamic frame here while keeping the focus of his objective intact. That's such good directing, dude. So this is the part that read 3D to me. Everything before this, I actually wasn't sure if it was 3D or 2D, but this right here reads 3D to me, and I'm wondering why. It definitely has a lot to do with the increased rotations, the slow rotation. This slow rotation is pretty hard to do in 2D with that much geometric accuracy. And I think honestly, the reason why everything else read so 2D before is because they were able to snap into different poses pretty dramatically, which allows the geometric integrity to be less detectable, if that makes sense. But here, there's like some minor things that are happening that are like, okay, that makes more sense in 3D. 3D mecha, yes, no? Oh, shit! Oh, God! No fucking, what the fuck is going on? Oh, shit! No, what the?
Scorched Earth operations!
He's just a kid!
Majesty!
Holy shit, dude! Oh, she's dead. Oh, she dead. Oh my God. So I think one of the coolest things they're doing with this whole video is the voice modulation. The voice modulation, I think, is canon to the game as well. Like Firefly has a voice modulator when she has the armor on, right? The voice modulator makes it so that every one of these characters feels like a soldier. The coolest part is how they misdirect you about that, and they really show the horrors of war as you go through the video. It's really cool. This part, dude, is so sad. The moment you hear his real voice and you realize he's just a kid, it's such good storytelling, dude. Holy shit, dude, what the hell is this story, man? Oh my God, dude. Holy Jesus. The directing here is fucking immaculate, bro. She literally gets up. She's covering frame. The moment she gets up, notice how the rack focus is already preemptively focusing on the face behind her. See how the blur is already happening here? The director knows exactly what he's doing. Corpses. That's crazy, dude. What an efficient storytelling frame. Absolutely terrifying. They really drove home the gravity of this situation. This is so, so sad.
I dreamed of a scorched earth. A new shoot sprouted from the earth.
Hey, yo.
It bloomed in the morning sun and whispered to me.
Hey, yo. Climate change is real? Hey, yo.
Like fireflies into a flame.
Life begets death.
Huh? How did that happen? Wait, what? Holy shit! Shit! Oh my! Oh God! What? She destroyed the whole fucking planet? Oh, you kidding me? Holy shit! That form of the armor occurs when their life reaches almost their limit and enhances their abilities. They had that the whole time and none of the other ones activated it? Come on, dude. Everybody's life was at their limit. Why was there not like 20 of them? Oh my God. What? Oh my God. What's Kafka?
Fireflies dancing among the stars.
That's a bit of a fucked up thing to say, yeah. You know? So just so we're both clear, those sunglasses would not fit her face, right? Like they wouldn't cover her eyes at all. I just want to clarify that. Just make sure that we're on the same page here. Anyway, that was good. So all the characters were 2D, but all the mechas were 3D, and I could barely tell. Incredible work from the 2D animators who drew over and like did all the shading for the mechas. Amazing shout out to all the 3D animators who were able to capture that Sakuga feeling. Yeah, the reality is like not very many 3D animators animators can act and think like 2D animators when they animate. And what I'm seeing here in this particular project is that whoever animated the mechas understood 2D animation to the T. Really, really good stuff. Extremely solid animation. I would say one of the best 3D, 2D things I've seen in a long time. Okay, so what grade do I give Firefly's trailer? Animation. Honestly, I didn't notice a single moment where the weight felt off or the posing felt unclear. Everything was perfectly crafted from an animation standpoint. I give it an S. Directing. Now, I did really like the story and I was invested, but the ending did fall a bit flat. The giant tree sort of came out of nowhere and everything after that felt a little too convenient story-wise. I understand there's context missing from the game, but in general, it's a good idea to foreshadow important story moments if you can, just so those moments feel a bit more earned. I give it an A-. Visuals. Holy shit, the rendering was good. The fact that I couldn't even tell that the mech suits were 3D at first is incredible. They did such a good job at repainting the shadows and the highlights, and the compositing was top tier. They had the dark red tones to signify the horrors of war, and then the neutral grays to highlight the desolation at the end. Amazing stuff. I can't give this any less than a perfect score. S+. So, what is the final score? It's so good visually. The only thing that drags it down is the ending. But everything else about it is so elevated, I can't help but love it. I give it an S-. It's just a beautiful piece overall. But what do you guys think? Do you agree or disagree with these grades? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to catch the upcoming videos, we have a ZZZ breakdown coming up soon for one of the new characters, amongst other things. Or you can watch this video that YouTube thinks you'll like.